I see.
Right
All
on.
right, we'll get started. It's 1:15. I'm sure Nate won't be too far behind. But allow me to introduce today's topic and how I came to that topic. I know this is 50, and normally for every 10 luncheons or so, or every 10 episodes of something, you do something momentous. But the third Sonic movie just came out, and this is how I came to this topic. All right, so what's for lunch today is what we made yesterday, a little bit of leftovers. It is chili, Lady Stone's homemade chili, and it is delicious. And so my mind sort of wandered from chili to chili dogs, and then I'm like, okay, Sonic likes chili dogs. Sonic is trending right now. Let's talk about Sonic.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those wild ones. I didn't even pre-read it, but I know we kind of joked about if we ever talked about that, the luncheon would have to involve chili dogs. And Sonic the Hedgehog, to me, was my introduction to the chili dog. So, yeah, growing up, I honestly thought that the chili dog was invented by Sega.
Really?
True story. I only ever, and I still to this day, associate the chili dog, a very specific chili dog, with Sonic the Hedgehog. The
he
classic
does love them.
Meat-based. Yeah. Oh, well, but there's a very specific one. And I remember reading somewhere later in life that there is an official chili dog for Sonic the Hedgehog chili dog. And it is a fine ground beef base with no beans, chili, cheddar cheese, diced onions on a on the meat with a slightly toasted bun. That is the pinnacle chili
like
dog.
A
because it's the one you always
Sonic
eat.
chili dog for sure.
And then where it gets weird is every character in this one cookbook that I seem to remember, and I'll have to find it as we're talking, when this came out, there were chili dogs for every other character. Like there's an Eggman chili dog, a Knuckles chili dog, a Rose chili dog, all of them. Everyone has their own chili dog.
I didn't know that part.
But it was something. It was like a promo thing that Sega, I think, made. I want to say it was the late 90s, early thousands. And it had to do with the comic books. For me, I never really played the games. I played one game.
Oh,
I was big in the comic books.
I played the original Sonic when it came out when I was at my cousin's house when I was a little kid. And then as Sonic Adventure 2 came out, and that, basically was the big peak of Sonic when I was younger, because Sonic Adventure 2 everyone regarded as like a really damn good Sonic game, and it is. It's just, I think everybody remembers it being better than it actually was, because a lot of the voice acting in it is muted, like to where like the music is so overpowering the voice acting.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then on top of this, I think everyone just fondly remembers the gameplay and how fun it was. And it is. And the main reason, like, why I haven't seen the third Sonic movie yet is because I took one look at the trailer. I'm like, wait a minute, this is just Sonic Adventure 2 put into a movie. Yeah.
Really? I haven't even seen the trailer
the trailer
yet.
basically shows that. It shows, Eggman and his grandfather, creating Shadow the Hedgehog with Maria, and it's a whole quest to save the world and everything. Though I haven't seen, like, the Super Sonic and Super Shadow forms yet, which Andy, of course, comments, and I think everyone comments, it's a bit of a ripoff of DBZ. I mean...
Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking that up now. Wow. I'm looking up the trailer now, and I'm just looking at it silently.
But...
That's crazy.
I think the main draw is obviously Jim Carrey as frickin' Eggman, and, he always... brings his A game to whatever role he's in, Um, and then of course, Keanu frickin' Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog of all things. That was a casting choice I did not expect. And then Idris Elba as Knuckles, and he even wears the frickin' gloves in the booth. That is talk about method acting. That is method acting. That's dedication.
They couldn't pick a better actor for Knuckles. They could not pick a better actor for Knuckles to take that voice. Because yeah, like I said, I'm a huge comic book guy. So the Echidnas, I was completely taken in the comic books by like Knuckles and the whole story there, and the warrior culture that the Echidnas all have, where it's a completely different societal take than what everyone else in the comic books want. They have no draws. It's very tribalistic. It's very it's almost like Mandalorians. Really? Really is in the comic books. From what I remember in the comic books, it was very warrior based. Spartans, Mandalorians without armor, of course, with it. And everyone, it's not just Knuckles has this warrior mindset. It's everybody. Everybody has this more than that. You have this is your place, and this is what you do, and this is what you pursue to excellence. It's a very driven societal pull. So when Knuckles premiered in live action form and I heard that voice, it clicked to me. Yes, this is 100% who Knuckles can be. And when they play in the whole idea of Knuckles doesn't quite get, number one, how Sonic himself thinks about things and how Sonic has his own values, doesn't quite grasp that side of things, but also doesn't understand the human world, and he brings his own values in. Like the whole deal with the dog in the one movie where he puts up a fighting arena and the dog is in pitched battle with the mailman. Because to Knuckles, that makes sense. It's funny, but societally, Knuckles sees this. It will be a battle to remember. You will face your arch nemesis. It is perfect in his mind. This is more than entertainment. This is
a duel of honor.
This is a duel of honor. It is 100% that. And I'm kind of like low leveling it. So I guess in the trailer you see Shadow comes up, was like, does this whole thing, and then Sonic comes up. Well, we don't want to fight. Knuckles goes, I want to fight. Well, heck yeah, I want to fight too. That's 100% Knuckles. I love it. But Idris Elba coming in and wearing gloves and doing all that, I didn't know about. But the fact that he has brought so much love, I think, into the character, then that says a lot about where Knuckles is going to go. And if anyone has not read the old comics, definitely check them out. Especially, there was a whole arc, say, I want to say around the time of the second Indiana Jones movie. Sonic and Tails basically have a spin-off Indiana Jones adventure for about 3 to 4 comics. And it's straight up rips Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But it's Sonic and Tails for 3 books. And it's great.
Tails being like short round in that?
Pretty much, yeah.
At least he's not screaming like short round.
It is. Yeah, a tiny bit, but like there's a whole part in, say, the first arc of it where Tails has his boat plane in the Amazon River. Sonic jumps into the plane, and there's a snake in the plane, and he goes, I hate snakes, and he throws the snake out. But the snake is actually robotic, and Robotnik's, of course, technology hooked up, and he knows exactly what Sonic and Tails are up to. So it has a lot of parallels and a lot of Easter eggs to, say, Indiana Jones, the classic 1920s and 1930s cinematic world of archaeology and those adventure movies and the golden era film. But the comic books, looking back at them now, I guess in a little bit more fondness and nostalgia, with Sonic in particular, they pull a lot of pop culture references into their own formats to try and say, hey, we can make this approachable to kids. So then when you come out later in the world, yeah, you've got a lot of this. So take for example, we all know about Robotnik and the
Yeah.
robots, the whole deal. In the comics, they go so deep into the lore of where that technology comes from. It completely shatters your entire idea of the world being perfect, because you think of Robotnik as being the one and only person who would do such a thing. But then you find there's a lot of connections to people that are beloved characters in Sonic's life that helped Robotnik become who he was. Not made Robotnik who he was, actively helped him do it. Because I forget the name. You have the rabbit with the robotic arm that's kind of like
Bunny
Winter
Rabbit?
Soldier. Bunny Rabbit, yeah. So you see, like it's got that whole deal where her legs and the arm are people look at it and go, oh, that's very similar to being robotized. Oh, it's not similar. It's the same technology. You ever wonder where that technology came from? It's the same tech. It is the same exact tech.
The woodland animals, they're effectively robotized. Huh.
Mm-hmm. They do have issues where some of the creatures do get roboticized. So like at one point, Sonic himself does become roboticized, and then they have to find the technology. That's where Metal Sonic came from. The first Metal Sonic came from that. And then they de-roboticized him, but Robotnik saw the potential of it, and he used all that technology. So I mean, there's been hundreds of iterations of Robo-Sonics. So there's I think maybe a dozen or so different comic books where they show all the different iterations where Robotnik has made a Robotnik Sonic the Hedgehog. But where the core, powerful, perfect robot has come from for Robotnik, to his chagrin, has not been his own technology. It's been this roboticizer, which isn't 100% his own making. That's from someone in Sonic's life. A little bit of a tinkerer, a bit of an older, a wiser, smarter person in his life, someone who has guided him from his youth and warned against how technology can have really positive effects in life, but really horrible and negative effects in life, and how you need to be careful on how far you progress, especially when they talk to Tails. Because a lot of what this person did wound up leading to the creation of the roboticizer, because he used to be in the lore Robotnik's assistant, and some would say partner. And there's a lot of argument as to whether or not that's canon, but that would be Sonic's uncle.
Really? I didn't realize this.
In the books, it's his uncle. And two of the first experiments that Sonic's uncle did was Sonic's own mother and father. Yes, because they were terminal. So he figured, well, I can keep them alive as robots. Because Eggman comes up and says, well, the flesh it's the old Mechanicus draw. The flesh is weak, but the machine is strong. So at first everything's fine. You know, they have their memories, they have their spirit, they are who they are. But there's been a tweak in the code, as you would say, because Robotnik can't make this entire thing himself, but he can modify things to his own gain. So after a little bit of tinkering on it, Sonic's own mother and father turn. And now they're completely under control of the Eggman. And that was when he was a little kid. So that's where you see the horrors of what that is. But Sonic's uncle has all that knowledge of the roboticizer and how technology works, how robots work, and everything else. So he's then able to help with Bunny when she loses her legs and her arm, to actually help her, move and fight again. And there's a whole bunch of others that get, these prostheses. And there's a whole bunch of this really dark underbelly in those comic books, but it's drawn out in this very happy, colorful, fun-loving, goody kind of Sonic
it's like,
universe.
It's made by Archie Comics, and Archie Comics has always been like bright and colorful.
Yes. Oh, bright and colorful and happy, and it's high school and it's great. Life is amazing. And then you get Sonic and it's the same thing, but then if you read into it,
This
you
is
go,
actually really dark.
There's some dark. there's some dark stories in here, especially when you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
morals. So I don't know exactly how dark they're gonna go with the movies, but if it's anything like the comic books were, there is a lot of potential for how dark you can go. Of course, Saturday morning cartoons, they did
Oh
not go
no.
that way. And it's a good thing they did not. It's a
I
very
mean,
good thing
like,
they did not. They went
I
very
mean, still, the
happy-go-lucky.
Sonic Saturday morning cartoon was still pretty good. I mean, there was, of course,
Yeah, they were. And there were a few episodes where you're like, "Oh no, I don't know what's happening."
right.
Cliffhanger. You're not too sure, like, if the writers are on strike or if there's even gonna be a
I
season
think,
after
yeah, the
this
entire show ended
because
on a cliffhanger, and there's been
oh,
petitions to kind of
yes.
bring it back. And I think there is like a fan made like continuation episode on YouTube, but it like took years to get done, and it still doesn't really like
Mhm.
fully meaningfully
It
continue the
doesn't
story.
reach. Mm-mm. And it's hard. It's hard to do that. But when you're a fan, I would say if you're a true fan is willing to put their own narrative out there and make art in appreciation of, not to supplant
Yeah,
the original, of course, but if you're a fan and you're willing to make art, whether it's a drawing, a video, a movie, a song, something, if you're a fan and you're willing to do something like that, number one, power to you because you're putting yourself out there in art
yeah,
form. That's scary. I should know. Two, um, you're sharing love for a shared interest with your fellows. So never be ashamed or scared to do that. It doesn't matter if like it's the first drawing you've ever done or the 100th or thousandth or whatever. It That's incredible. Share it. Art should be out in the masses. That's why, we have art galleries. So you can see it all.
right.
And
Well, speaking of the
it's
whole art style,
amazing to see it.
me and my friend Scott, who I actually streamed on Fortnite with yesterday, we had this big discussion about like, you know, art styles at one point. Specifically, like he was actually a little peeved that fan backlash towards Ugly Sonic when the first trailer for the first movie
Oh,
dropped caused them to obviously make Sonic a bit more cartoon, like look like the cartoon and everything. And he was just like, well, it was different. And it's like, I don't know, when it's like that kind of different, that's the kind of different that makes you go, no.
if that's a whole different story. I get where they're coming from. If it was a fan that
Right.
was doing it, right? Or a company that was completely disenfranchised from the series, that is a whole other ballgame. But the fact Sega put that out, that was where I
Yeah,
personally
that's
had
where
the
the
problem.
entire internet got up in arms and
It's
basically,
like if McDonald's came out and said, "Hey, burgers are gone. We're going to be a
yeah,
taco chain now." No. No. You don't know. It's the same it's to me
yeah,
it's the same parallel. Sega is a very smart
yeah,
company. So before I say what I'm about to say, they're a very smart company. I am 90% certain that the web theory, the conspiracy, if you will, that they purposely did that to pull attention to the first movie to save on marketing costs is
that is
90% true.
true.
I'm 90%
That's
certain that it's true. I think they saved a ton of money on marketing by stirring up hatred for the movie because I think they quadrupled. I'm not going to throw like millions of more people went and saw this movie out of hatred. I think they potentially tripled or quadrupled the number of people that went and saw it opening day, just opening day, just to
either
hate
that or,
watch the
well, that's the
movie
thing.
because
They
of Ugly
then
Sonic.
dropped another trailer with the corrected version, and everyone I think was more just
Exactly.
appreciative. It's like, oh, we were actually listened to.
But the ones who did not see the trailer are the ones that Sega made the most money
Right.
off of. Reason being, there's a big demographic of people out in the internet, the media, the world in general, that as soon as they see one thing and they take an issue with it, they will not look at the rebuttal, the follow-up, or any kind of evidence to the contrary, or any kind
Right.
of apology.
Yeah.
Ever. We saw this all. If you can take this politically, you can take this all the way
Yeah.
back to Bill Clinton, right? You know, I did
Hey,
not
who's that
have
woman?
relations with that woman. All right. And everyone saw this and went, really, guy? Really? And then he comes out and apologizes for it. By then, it's too late. And then the rest of his administration is marred by the joke of what is. Okay? Because people aren't willing to look at this and go, hey, a mistake, and I'm generalizing, not just politics or media, art, finance, whatever it is. A mistake is made by an individual, a corporation, a business, a nation, whatever. A mistake is made. Apology is made, reparation is made, and people are still sitting back at the I am offended.
Yeah, because some
or
people
I am
just
insulted,
they're
or
just
I am
assholes
choosing
who
to be
get
angry.
high on that righteous indignation, you know?
100%. Yeah. But the way you get back at it is, say in Sega's case, the people that purposely went to go opening day and see quote unquote ugly Sonic did not see ugly Sonic in that movie theater when they dropped what, $30 for
Right.
tickets and drinks? Or what, $80, I guess. I haven't been in a movie theater since
Yeah, I
2002.
haven't been in a movie
So
theater.
I don't know.
We haven't been in a movie theater since like 2019.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Why? I'm surprised they're alive. Actually, is the whole reason they're still alive, but that's a whole other
Right.
economics thing. So all that money comes into Sega just by releasing
Yeah.
Ugly Sonic, and it's pure marketing genius, and it carries forward because then you have, I forget the name of the movie, Ugly Sonic makes
And Chip and Dale,
cameo
yeah.
in Thank You in Chip and Dale. Ugly Sonic makes a cameo in Chip and Dale, and to me that says a lot about the producers and the studio, that they are willing to take something that they were mocked and ridiculed for and turn it into a joke and run with it and just kind of laugh
For
it
real.
off. To me, that's huge. That is huge. That you're willing to become the butt of a joke and just own it. That's amazing. I would love to see more of that, where people are like, yeah, we messed up. Like Tesla. If Tesla comes off and says, yeah, so remember we said the Tesla truck was bulletproof. And then they look at the Tesla with a shattered windshield from a baseball bat that was on stage and go, the body is. The glass is another thing. We're working on the glass. You know, kind of make a joke out of it. If you can laugh at yourself, you can laugh at anything. And if you bring that into it, it's great. And again, that brings it into Sonic. Again, you joke about everything. Sonic is always making a quip. He's always making a joke. He's always teasing people. So if anything, maybe it kind of affected me in my early years indirectly, where he runs his mouth as much as he runs himself. He just makes it. He's just quick with the comebacks. And I always loved that. But I still kind of more lean toward, Knuckles, where enough talking. Let's just punch his face in.
I mean, but I guess like I said, Andy made this comparison how each of the characters are kind of like Dragon Ball Z characters as well. And basically it's Sonic is like Goku, Tails is supposed to be like Gohan, Shadow is like Vegeta, Knuckles is like Piccolo. Yeah, there's all these comparisons, and I mean, how apt do you think those comparisons are?
I don't know about Tails.
I mean, Gohan's the book nerd, and
I'd say Tails is more of a combination of Gohan and Krillin.
I was going to say Krillin.
He is technically Sonic's best friend as well, and Krillin is.
But he is, yeah, and Krillin is kind of like emergency rations or meat shield. but also, well, okay, and to go on to DBZ, Krillin is the only one who has managed to get to where he is without supreme heritage, blood, alien DNA, or magic. He is human.
Yeah.
Krillin could beat the crap out of any other top tier trained human, non-Saiyan, souped up, half android, brought back to whatever, insert here, fighter in that universe. Krillin would wipe the floor. But as soon as you put him amongst the people he hangs out with,
pretty much,
he's garbage. You know, almost as garbage as Yamcha, or as I like to call him, the Roomba, because he's always on the ground. And whenever, correct me if I'm wrong, I said that guy's name, and your first image was him in a crater, curled up in the fetal position, not standing ready to fight. No one ever sees him
blown up by a
stance.
Cyberman.
Yeah, that's it. Also, who else could pull Android? Krillin did. Krillin pulled Android.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. This guy might have, a little bit more going for him than
Android 18 is his wife. And just look at her.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like you don't put a ring on 18 without, having something to bring to the table.
Made the joke that apparently Krillin is possibly hung like a horse.
I would not doubt it. That the man has to have either that or he's got like some super technique going
mad mouth game
for him where he's gotta have something. So if you're looking at, say, parallels in between the DBZ universe and Sonic to go even further beyond the characters, you have the overarching idea that you notice the closer one side gets to integrating technology to make themselves better and more superior, and it ultimately leads to that group or side conquering, which inherently brings them to be the quote unquote evil side. Or I would prefer to use the term the opposition to the protagonist, not necessarily evil. So the opposing, but they're not antagonizing.
Well,
they're
antagonizing does not mean evil. Again, you can be an antagonist and still just be what you're doing is just you're against whoever the protagonist is. Yeah. The protagonist can be
the stupid hero. The stupid hero is coming along and ruining everything, and it's their fault.
Or again, it depends on how you.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I kill protagonists in my books. I kill protagonists because I hate them.
But again, it really depends on how you frame your story. Like, you can have a protagonist who is straight up evil, but he's the protagonist of his own story. He's like, I am trying to do this thing, and there's these people trying to stop me. So technically, the good guys could be the antagonists because they are trying to stop this guy.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But I know I kind of sidetracked, but so going to when you have so technology leading to becoming the antagonist, the antagonizing side in the storyline, and leading to oppression, domination, everything else. You see that constantly in Dragon Ball. Like when you first see Vegeta, he's got technologically enhanced armor. He's got the sensors, he's got all the stuff that he's brought with him, all this technology. That where he kind of differs though as a character early on is he has it, but he's the Prince of Saiyans and he doesn't need it. Everyone else does, because they're not the Prince of Saiyans. Everyone that works for him does need it because they're not the Prince of Saiyans.
And remember, he figured out energy sensing just from one fight with Goku.
Yes. And that was it. That like one in, and he didn't need it anymore. Like, lens is gone. So you have the technology, to summarize and make it very simple, technology equals evil. right? We can just blatantly black and white
Right.
it that way. Then you go to Sonic. Who is the evil over there? Who is the antagonist?
Yeah.
Robotnik. What does he have? Technology. It's again nature versus technology. It is the same theme that you have. One opens the door to the furry fandom. The other one opens the door to the martial arts fandom. Which both lead to Comic-Con. So either way,
I didn't see Rouge in any of the trailers, and probably for good reason,
oh
because
my god, I
she
need
is
Rouge.
probably
Hear
a
me
lot
out.
of people's
Hear
furry
me out.
awakening.
We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. I'm not a furry, but
Would
you put Rouge in the room. She's in my top 5.
Oh, I'm not judging. I'm sorry.
We
The
listen
way
and
you
we don't
frame that
judge.
is still kind of funny.
I judge.
You judge for Rouge.
I judge. You judge hard. You judge hard. You're just judging because of my choice.
Like, I love when people, we listen, we don't judge. It's like, oh no, honey, I judge.
Oh, you judge. We're not going to voice it, but we're going to judge. Like, I don't care. Rouge could be fresh off the
I thought it
plane
was Rogue.
from the
Oh.
the.
I always thought
Oh.
it was Rogue, so I was like, okay,
So-
Rogue the Bat.
No.
So did I early on until one of the video games when they announced her as a fighter. And then I kind of paused it and went, Rouge? No, it's Rogue. Then I Googled it. Oh, it's Rouge. I've been saying it wrong since the 90s. Cool. All I've known is Pretty Batgirl. Okay.
With giant
So judge me. Go ahead, internet. I don't care. My name's Ben Ozzy and I like Rouge. Forget it.
I mean,
Smash.
again, I don't blame you. Again, for a lot of young people who are into the furry fandom, that Rouge, it was their awakening.
Yeah, it was going to be one of 3. If we're looking at just the female characters in Sonic, the top 3 that I would imagine are there.
Yeah.
Number 1
That's
is Rouge.
Sally from
Just
the
because of how they're done.
from the show.
Was that anime
Oh, yeah.
Inuyasha?
Inuyasha, yeah.
Like when he
Inuyasha?
like a
Yeah,
wolf.
that's another one.
He's a half dog demon.
So what came out first,
That
that or
dog's demon.
Sonic?
It came out first. Yeah. It came out in the 90s.
They came around at the
Yeah,
same time.
so when did Rouge?
I think Rouge was first introduced in what,
Rouge?
Sonic Adventure 2?
I think it was in Adventure 2, like
I was
clicks
gonna say, I
in.
figured Inuyasha would
Oh,
be
actually,
everyone's furry
just
awakening.
Well, for women, yeah.
Okay, guys.
Sonic
But
the
not saying
Hedgehog,
that.
I think some gay guys would probably
Oh,
like
wait.
Inuyasha,
Nope.
probably.
Archie Comics 1993. Archie Comics 1993 is the first one where you see a depiction of the character later known
Okay.
as Rouge.
So she first appeared in 1993.
Yeah. Which, oh, by the way, if you have a CGC rated 9.8 or higher, it is worth over $400
For that comic?
for that
Damn.
one comic.
That's a lot of money.
My dad has all my Archie comics.
And yeah, ain't going there.
Yeah, I'd go get them from your dad right now because I'm now perusing all the Sonic comics that I, quote, gave away when I left for the army. And I'm very sad
Well, so you could have sold that one?
because, my God, I had a bunch of
Dang.
these. I had a ton of this. So, yeah, so like the top 3. The top 3, I imagine, would have been awakenings for folks in the Sonic comics.
Yep.
Number 1 is Rouge, hands down. Number 2,
Funny Rabbi.
is gonna Bunny Rabbit. Yes, 100%. Then there was a female echidna. Oh goodness.
I would think it would have been Sally from the Sonic Saturday AM show.
Oh no. Let me look up this one's name. Her name. Oh, Tikal.
Female echidna?
Yeah, Tikal or Julie Sue. Julie Sue and Tikal are alternates, depending on which line of the comics you are. So the echidna females are quite, yeah, if you look those up, or I could just drop into the chat, I don't care. My goodness. Whatever you do, do not put R34 next to any of those names because you will never unsee it.
I imagine there's a lot of Sonic Rule 34 that you can't unsee.
Yeah, like seriously, so big in the
Yeah,
phonics child.
yeah.
What?
It is.
Is it-
It is an
Oh my
absolute
God.
nightmare. But
Honestly, I mean, for me, Rule
when
34 is stupid anyway, but it doesn't traumatize me. I think probably because I've seen too much.
Right. And Red Goose, what are you doing in here?
and just like that, we
Yep.
never saw him again. The only reason I did not put Sally on the list has to come
Nate
to
acts like
the
It's not acting, it's actual age.
no. 15's not that young.
Still, like, I would rather him wait till he gets older. Um,
Oh yeah, you don't want to expose anyone under the age of 30 to me.
How long was it for you for public school? Seriously.
how long? What?
Like, if you're not going to learn it like from trusted people, you're going to learn it from strangers at public school.
Well, yeah, I learned it from strangers at public school when I was like 13.
Oh yeah, and look how we turned out. That's why we're saying
Yeah, on top of
no.
this, it's not like public school was recorded. The idea is that this isn't a recorded medium, and I just prefer that not be the case. Yeah,
that's true. Oh no, my public school education class was absolutely abysmal. It was mixed, male and female, taught by our assistant
it's always a
football
fucking
coach.
gym or football
Or-
coach. It always is.
Did you get the offensive? Was yours offensive teams or
think-
defense teams? Ours was offense. Ours was
Oh, I
the
was-
offensive team's
I was in Texas,
assistant
so
coach.
we basically had
He
like
taught
4 coaches. We had like a lineman coach, a receivers coach, a head coach.
Wow.
I think ours was like a receivers coach.
We had 2. Because our offense assistant coach was also the head coach of the soccer team. And he was also the coach for special teams. The reason being is special teams has a kicker. So they figured the soccer coach would make a good coach for that.
Right.
Welcome to North Florida.
So North Florida,
yeah.
that's where you went to high school?
And the way that
Hmm.
yeah. And there's a reason I did not move back to the South. My God, I had to stay away from there. Personally. For many reasons, other than hurricanes. But so now I get to deal with 8 inches of snow overnight, and I absolutely love it. It is fantastic, and I'm not being sarcastic. I absolutely love the winter storms. It's great because why? People leave me alone.
Yep. I mean, and on top of this, it just looks nice, you know.
Oh, there's that. Yeah. I've got my my Ukrainian military issue headgear over here. I was wearing it outside.
Oh,
It
you
was very
gotta put
toasty
that
and
in
warm.
the pictures.
I got that. Oh yeah, I'll upload the TikTok I made.
Oh, you have TikTok?
Joking about it because I got.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't post a lot of
drop you a
stuff
follow
on
on
there
TikTok.
because I'm in a bit of a hate. I'm in a bit of a hate relationship, but it's Ben Ozzy on TikTok
Ozzy?
and
Ben Ozzy.
Ben Ozzy. Yeah. I might show up as Rabbit Squirrel, but yeah, Ben Ozzy. I kind of use it as for books and stuff. I was uploading game stuff to it, but then I got into a hate relationship with TikTok because they're like, "Oh, violence depicted." Ooh. Yeah, it's Dead by Daylight. There's gonna be violence.
Oh dang, you got a lot of followers, dude. You got 2.5K.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Or is it 25K?
Yeah, you got 25K, dude.
I don't remember.
Shit. That's a lot of followers.
And it's all from stories. It's all just from
Dang.
telling stories.
Okay, and did you used to upload a lot or something?
It's fun.
Like, how many times a day did you upload?
I used to upload like I would upload 2 to 3 a day.
3 a day. Okay.
And it was just story times. Yeah, 2 to 3 a day, like quick little 1 minute, 2 minute
I've been
stories.
uploading like once
story
a day,
time, like-
5 days a week, and I'm at like 180.
Oh, that's once a day, 5 days a week is totally fine. Like 100%. And I think honestly, it was just because I would always upload either extremely early in the morning, like 8 a.m. or at 6 p.m. I think is the way it was. Because back then, if you uploaded while people were logging in, it would hit the For You
because on
page
top of this,
quicker.
you're hitting it at like both times people get on, like in like virtually any time zone.
Yeah, but the only reason I was even doing it that way was at one time I was just getting done with PT, and at the other time I was just getting off
Oh,
work.
okay.
So that was the only reason I was even uploading at those times. It wasn't even on purpose. Or I would be on 24-hour duty and I would get bored and I would see something and I would just do a react. Like that was it. That was really so like when every other week you have to pull 24 hours of sitting at a desk and watching a phone waiting for it to ring and it never rings except for the one time that it does ring and you're like, crap, the phone rang and now your entire night is ruined and you're probably not going to go home. Then yeah, you're just going to go on TikTok and watch stupid videos and make videos. That's really it. Or you're going to watch movies. But the TV was broken.
Well, I mean,
that was it.
I kind of pretty much did that at my last job. I guess I can disclose this now. I did used to work for Facebook. Granted, for a subsidiary, not the actual parent company.
I am so sorry.
Oh,
I am so sorry.
It was a good job. Saw some fucked up shit, that's for sure, and was subject to
That's
fucked
why.
up company ethics, that's for sure. But yeah, really, the actual job was just easy. It was just pretty much just watching videos and auctioning jobs all day, and I just put a movie on in the background, like, because we could access sites that were not blocked by their little system yet, and we actually had access to Tubi.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I remember Tubi.
And so basically you got to watch
That
free
is
movies and
awesome.
shows while they were available, and I would just throw on Hell's Kitchen and just get through my shift.
Oh, see, because I just even recently got back onto Facebook because my marketing manager told me, his words, I had to do it in order to do outreach. I went, okay. So I did that for about 4 months until I got sick and tired of my inbox being full of, I really like your work. It looks fantastic. Thank you for this. Thank you for the kind words. Wonderful support. I am a graphics designer. Would you like to hire me to design the cover for your book?
Every time I've gotten one of those messages.
Yeah. Oh, but it was like 20 to 30 of those messages or something like that. And if it wasn't designing a cover for the book, it was, do you need, you can hire me to be your publisher. You can hire me to print your book. You can hire me to write your book. You can, or my favorites, hey baby, do you want to have a good time tonight?
Get a bunch of those.
Cool. So then I put on the top of the author bio, because it went, this is a professional account, not hiring, no solicitors. I am not hiring a graphics designer. I am not hiring an editor.
My
I am
Twitter
not
bio,
hiring a
and I
publisher.
still get those messages.
Yeah. Right. But then after I do that, now here's where I'm a little different than other people. A lot of other people will see it and go delete. I'm petty. There's a couple of wonderful institutions. The first one is the Cyber Crimes and Fraud Division of the FBI in Quantico, Virginia. They handle national and international crime. They have several emails that you can hyperlink and disclose to these people, by hyperlink coding so it looks like a different email. So when they click on it and they don't read it because they're stupid, illiterate, or foreign, and they hit it and they're a bot and they email demanding money for services or offering services and sending wonderful explicit material directly to the FBI, along with all their information, or threatening you to give them stuff unless they give you money. They're just giving it to the FBI at that point. The other wonderful institution. The other wonderful institution I like to forward a lot of these people to is stationed in Sweden and is Interpol's international cyber watchdog. Interpol does have jurisdiction in the United States. A lot of people don't think they do, but yes, Interpol can arrest people in the US. We have helped them arrest people in the United States for multiple things. So, yes. So I like to, well, if this email doesn't work, you can also send it to this email. And sometimes I actually don't even change the email. The email will say crimes.cyber@fbi.gov. And they will email them. I will get messages back and say, oh, thanks. Sending it now. Wonderful. Looking
That
forward
is
to hearing from
amazing.
you. Because people are morons.
But we're at 45
Um,
minutes here. And I gotta use the bathroom. And on top of this,
Sonic.
I'm gonna go for a run to enjoy this winter wonderland. And initially, I was gonna play
Gotta go
Silent
fast.
Hill 2 for the stream today, but whenever it snows, I just get in the mood for Resident Evil 8. So, yeah.
You should wear red shoes and a blue jumper
Red
when you
shoes
go
and a blue
run.
jumper. Why? Oh!
Sonic.
Yeah. I do have a blue jumper. I don't have red shoes, though. I don't have red shoes, but
Let's
they
get it.
probably wouldn't fit me.
We must.
Yeah.
Is what is.
So we'll open this up to closing thoughts about Sonic. I'll start. Again, I just think it was kind of, whether it was a brilliant marketing move on Sega's behalf to, put out ugly Sonic to the world and then put out the actual Sonic, whether that was a brilliant marketing move or them genuinely listening to feedback, either way, it's amazing, because if that's a marketing move, that is the biggest 4D chess move of all time, for one. But if they genuinely listen to feedback, that's awesome, because it's like, okay, that's a big company actually listening to feedback and making good on it, which is kind of amazing, and more companies should do that, for one. So Andy, you really haven't gotten to talk much, so we'll go with
Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
okay. We'll go with you next. What are your more or less closing thoughts on Sonic and everything? Andy? Andy, you there? Huh. I guess he's AFK at the moment. Rabbit, we'll go with you then.
Firstly, sorry, Andy. I'm a huge Sonic fan. I'm so sorry. I think Sonic, number one, is something that started off as a kind of like an in opposition to, because you have to think Sonic comes out after the success was being seen by the
Right.
Mario Brothers series. You have all the money coming in on one side coming from the Mario Brothers, and you needed to have something come out to compete with it. And who better to compete with Sega than Sega? So then you have the parallel of, if we're not going to get the Mario fans, we're going to get the Sonic fans. So you have a double dip in the market. That's completely fine, because you are going to have the Sonic always and Mario never, or vice versa. Or you're going to have people like me who equally appreciate both for what they are individually, and what Sonic is going to be culturally, starting all the way from the 90s to the modern day, is the epitome of a hero that is good at something but never forgets where they came from or their friends. Period. You can have every kind of storyline, you can have every kind of adventure, you can have all this, but it always comes down to Sonic has never forgotten where he came from, and he's never forgotten his friends.
That's what I would do.
Period.
That's what I vow to do, because even if somehow, I'm hitting like 10 million subscribers and everything, and this whole operation does take off, I will never forget where I came from and where I started. Ever.
So you're saying 10 million is the goal,
obviously,
right?
Yeah. 10 million.
So at 10 million subscribers, will you eat I don't know, an entire pack of the Final Boss sour candies?
You know what? Yes. You can.
All right, you heard it here first. Once we get to 10 million subscribers for Stonestream Dubs, he's going to eat a whole pack of the Final Boss sour stream candies. I ate the level 1s and my tongue bled.
An entire pack, oh boy.
I'll eat one of them. You can eat the rest.
If that's the case, I might have to self-sabotage.
No, you're not allowed. No, never. Everything you say about yourself, I'll say are lies.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop it here. Again, I'll probably be streaming after I get out of the shower and everything. So yeah, thanks for hopping on, Rabbit. I don't know where Andy is. I guess he's AFK. I don't know why.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, Oh, Andy, there you are.
Oh,
Okay.
he's here.
Were you AFK for a bit?
For just a couple minutes there, yeah.
Okay. Now that you're here, we're actually opening this up to closing thoughts about Sonic. So, now that you're here, let's get your closing thoughts before we close this out.
Well, Sonic, I will say it's a pretty honestly, if you ask me, I think it's a pretty overrated franchise. All in all, and it has one of the worst fan bases imaginable.
I mean,
I'll agree. It does have one of the
Yeah.
worst fan bases.
I never known a fan base to be awesome.
yeah.
That is true.
I mean, there's not a lot of fan bases that you
What
can
about
say
Hello
are
Kitty
just
Island Adventure?
awesome people, you know?
It's all of it toxic.
I would
you
say,
know?
Yeah.
no.
It's like, when you got those incels going up
Mm.
to girls going, do you even know that anime or do you even know that comic? And
Yeah.
you're going, well, I like the design, instead of just going, hey, do you like that cartoon? Well, I just like the design. Oh, so you haven't watched it? Well, here, start off with this episode, blah, blah, blah.
And that's what I would do.
Instead of doing that, they just go,
Yeah.
do you even know that? And then people go, you know what? Screw you. I'm not going to even wear this shirt again.
For me, I don't know like what this tendency to gatekeep is all about. You know, it's like
Like gatekeeping mental illness. It's like
why?
Mm.
people can have mental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's.
But that being said, we'll now close it out because I really gotta go to the bathroom, and then get started on me run.
There we go. I think next week we need to talk about gatekeeping
Yeah,
communities.
that should be a topic for another one. But we'll bookmark that as a topic for a potential another episode. But
Right now, Stone's about to poop himself.
yes, I actually am.
Quick, hold him hostage.
No, don't hold me hostage.
Where are the drugs? Where is the rebel
He's
base?
sitting on a cigar. He's prairie dogging. He's just.
I got the turtle head poking out.
He's just.
He looks like Jose the jalapeno on a stick.
All right. Well, we'll stop here. Thanks for joining, guys.
For the love of God, Rabbit, let him go.
Yes, and we'll catch you on the next luncheon.